Hey Ottawa, Joe Moss and Sylvia Rhodea here, and we want to do a quick update on yesterday's board meeting. I'll get us started. So we had almost a 10-hour board meeting. It was long. It was filled with discussion. It was fairly collaborative. I'd say overall it went well. And one of the main, maybe from a high level, one of my main takeaways is, for me and for you and some of the other commissioners, our continued goal on the board is to preserve and protect individual rights and to promote freedom and truth in the public square. And we did that yesterday. We had great discussion around it. And to get specific, we were talking about board rules for the next foreseeable future. And one of those board rules is related to prayer. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of discussion over the last year or so about prayer in the public square. We've been very supportive of continuing that practice. And yesterday in our discussion with the board, the consensus or the direction that the board is moving is to maintain having prayer at our meetings, but to exclude pastors from coming in to pray as an official part of the agenda. They're still welcome to come and pray during public comment, but the actual invocation period will be limited to commissioners. Personally, I would rather keep it how it was, where anyone from the community can sign up. I think that's a better structure. But I'm thankful that we're still going to maintain prayer at our meetings.
I agree. I was really hoping that we could maintain what we have right now. It was clear that wasn't going to happen, but when you look at what it was before, pastors were given 3 minutes to come in and pray for invocation. And so I'm really hoping that they still come in during the public comment time and take those 3 minutes and continue to pray for our community.
Well, and that leads right into maybe one of the other big items that we discussed, and that was the public comment opportunities at our meetings. And so, skipping all the discussion, there were some ideas to limit public comment, to restrict it to a number of speakers or the items on the agenda. And bottom line is, in the end, we decided to leave the public comment completely unrestricted, welcoming people to come and use their voice at our meetings, our board meetings and our committee meetings. That's definitely the direction I wanted to go. And I'm really thankful that, now there's no policing of content or trying to, force people to only speak about certain topics. We want to hear people's voices at our meetings.
We do. I'm so glad that it stayed the way that it was. That was really important to us in this last term, to really allow the people to freely express whatever it is they have on their hearts, and to not be inconvenienced by having to wait till the end of the meeting or anything like that, because we certainly experienced that in the past. So I'm thankful we have it. The meetings themselves will be reduced in number each month, so I think it's really important that within the meetings themselves that it stayed the same.
Yep, I agree. We also talked a little bit about the Republican form of government, and that is, what we're trying to do is make sure we maintain our elected representatives as the people who are making decisions in our government for the people. What's happened in the United States over many years is that authority has been handed over to the administrative state or the bureaucracy. And we're seeing quite a bit of pushback on that right now, nationally and across the U.S. So that's exciting. And having President Trump come into office is going to be very interesting to see what his team does with the administrative state. And you mentioned during, I think, our last meeting that what we're likely going to see is President Trump come in and Ottawa Impact the federal government. I thought that was a good comment.
Yes, I totally believe that he will, because the measures that we took when we came into office in 2023 were to, do a reset for our county and to right the ship, so to speak. And President Trump definitely is planning to do that. And I think that, the way that he goes about doing that will probably shake things up even more than happened when we came in to office in 2023.
I hope so.
Right. Sometimes it needs to happen. And so, so I think that maybe will be a wake-up call to some people who still are struggling with understanding, why we had to take strong measures.
Well, yes, it was for protection, to protect the people.
Right.
And, another related point on all of it is, our country is $36 trillion in debt. Mm-hmm. There are serious issues that need to be addressed. And so there's been a lot of talk in the public square about taking action on day one. And so I'm really excited to see what happens. Another big thing that happened yesterday at our meeting was the board appointed a new interim county administrator. And so that is Gary Rhodea. He was the former sheriff in Ottawa County several years ago, and he was in that position for, I think, over 2 decades. Mm-hmm. And so he was appointed. The vote was 7-4. And there was quite a bit of discussion during the meeting from the 4 individuals who voted no. And I guess I would try to summarize that. I've already gotten several questions about it. Mm-hmm. I think in general people are fairly supportive of bringing Gary into the county. He knows a lot of people. He knows a lot about the operations. And the underlying issue that was discussed is that there has been, at least behind the scenes, some level of discussion about bringing back the COVID Corporation Counsel, Doug Van Essen. And so for myself, and I know you, and then listening to Commissioners Miedema and Wenzel, for me personally, I am 100% against that direction.
Yes, I absolutely don't want to rebuild, Team COVID, Team Fauci, and that is one thing that it looks like might be a direction that others wish to take us, is to put leadership back in place who led us through the pandemic, and their decisions were not good. They really stomped on the rights of the people, and so it's really important that as we are moving forward right now, that we're really careful about who we put back into power, if that's a move that some people want to take. So we found it necessary to take a stand and to ask Gary Rhodea to exhibit some courage in advocating against a move like that. And we had wished that he had been stronger in doing that. I think Gary is going to do a good job, but I think, part of the reason we came into office in the first place was because things were very much, get along, just go ahead and pass everything, short meetings, no questions, just get along to,
They call that consensus governing.
Yes. Yeah. And so, we just wanted to make a stand that we don't have any interest in consensus governing. We want thoughtful decisions and protective decisions to be made for the people.
Well, that's why we're there, is to protect people's rights, make sure that their rights are not trampled, uphold freedom of speech, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Mm-hmm. So we'll work with Gary. We're excited to have him there to be helpful. The county's a big government, mm-hmm. and so definitely some leadership is needed in that spot right now. Yeah. County's
$300 million, almost $300 million a year. Mm-hmm. Probably will be this year. I guess we'll see. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and I'm excited to continue, working on the board and with other board members to, work together to find the best solutions for Ottawa. There's all sorts of things that are in process and need to be addressed, whether it's related to veterans or housing or, any of the number of departments or the sheriff's department. We have we have 10 members on the board that are elected as Republicans and 1 elected as a Democrat. And I think we're going to, especially with President Trump in office, I think we're going to have a really good direction. One comment I'd make is, I was talking with somebody this morning. They were asking about, my vote during, the meeting yesterday, and I had to remind them, we're not there to make decisions based on people. We're there to make decisions based on policy. We are policymakers. We're trying to set direction and maintain oversight and accountability over a government body, over a bureaucracy. So we don't have to get so tied up in personal politics, but always remember to focus on policy and principles. And so I'm looking forward to continuing, this year.
Same here.
Yep. All right, well, that's the update for now, and I'm sure there'll be more information coming soon.